I'd also be very careful when you're strumming up here. I actually cut myself the other day, impaled myself on the tuning peg, and I am not liable for any injuries. Up first, let's start with probably their most well-known song of all time, Killing in the Name. Picking the low E and the A together to get a power chord, basically. And then you're gonna hammer on from the 3rd fret to the 5th fret on the A string. And then you're gonna have these 2 muted strums. And you know, these are the little details that just bring the tastefulness to your playing, you know? Because you could play. Doesn't sound bad. But those little details just add so much. So you play down, up, muted strums. And then you're gonna hammer on from 3 to 4 on the D string. And then land on the 5th fret of the A string. Then you're gonna play the low E and A strings together again. And then you're gonna cover the 2nd fret, the low E and A strings, hammer onto the 3rd fret, and then back to that 2nd fret. But once you play the whole riff, as the song moves into the verse, you play the same thing but palm muted, and then it ends up sounding like this. So if I were to play all of that together, it could sound something like this. Since we're already in drop D tuning, let's learn a riff from one of my favorite Rage songs of all time, Snakecharmer. What you want to do is put your middle finger on our root note, all the way up here, again, 17th fret of the A string. Index finger on the 16th fret of the D string. Ring finger here on the 17th fret of the G string. Don't do that, do this. And then pinky all the way up here at the 18th fret of the B string. And what you're gonna do is go back and forth between playing that open low E string, which really is a D in this case, which obviously works with this D Hendrix chord. And you're just gonna go back and forth between them. And you'll notice that I'm letting that low E string ring out. That chord is muted by the time I strike that low E string next. And then we go into this cool riff. It's all on the low E string. You play it twice. And then you play 5-3 open. And I'm down picking the whole thing. It's just the aggressive punk energy thing to do. Now you do the same thing up 2 frets. So we have 7-5 open. And then you play 12-10. And then you gotta jump all the way back down to the 3rd fret, put it all together, and it sounds like this. And the riff ends like that. You slide up to that 5th fret on the A string. And then 5-3, 5-3 on the low E string to the open E string. And that's Snakecharmer. You know, if you like the vibe of this lesson and you want more guitar tips and tricks, you might want to head on over to guitareo.com/trial, because we do have trillions more lessons and good vibes on the site. Trillions. Let's take a look at down Rodeo. You want to bend on the 3rd fret of the G string, down and back, and you're actually literally pulling down, which is a less common way to bend, but I think that's the vibe here. A half step. And then land on that 4th fret of the D string. This next passage, play the 2nd fret of the low E string, open, 2nd fret, open, 2nd fret again, 3, 2, 0, and then you play again, open, low E, 2nd fret, with these 2 muted strums. Then we have some more muted strums. Just want to try to get that rhythm down. Repeats. And a 3rd time. You can hear that repeats 4 times. You're playing the open low E to the 2nd fret, and then muted strum, down, down, up. Now we have the coolest part, and you do not want to know how many hours I spent trying to figure out what's going on here. So you want to grab that harmonic up here at the 17th fret of the low E string, and what you're doing is using your pick to hit the string. Sounds to me like maybe it's a combination of like kind of like poking downwards, but also there might be a bit of a scrape in there. So that's kind of the movement I'm going for. And you just do this a bunch of times. Slowly, the whole verse sounds like this. You do that for 4 bars, and then you're golden. That's the riff. Good job. Here's how you Take the Power Back off of their debut record. If you try to play this along to the original recording, it'll sound really bad because their recording is sitting somewhere between 2 keys. Around there. That's what we're gonna get playing in standard tuning. We're gonna start by playing the open low E, which is actually tuned down to D. And then we're gonna play another one of those Hendrix chords, the D dominant 7 sharp 9. And then you play the open low E again. And chromatically walk up 3, 4, 5 on the A string. Then you play that open low E twice in a row. Then you have these muted strums. And you're playing 3 sets of down, up, down, up. So the second part in this riff starts the same way. But it ends a little differently. And then you're strumming the strings after the nut. So as soon as you play the open low E, you want to mute that so there's nothing ringing out, but then make sure there's nothing obstructing the fretboard when you strum. So take your hand off and then you strum. So you want to get that move down. Mute, release, strum. And then you're gonna slide down from the 17th fret of the low E. So now we have faster. And I'd also be very careful when you're strumming up here, watching out for any loose strings, even just the tuning pegs in general. I actually cut myself the other day. Got a nice little cut on this finger. impaled myself on the tuning peg. So be very careful. And I am not liable for any injuries. Next part of the riff, again, starts the same way. Slightly different strumming. Down, up, down, up, 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 down, up. Down, up, down, up, 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 down, up. And then the riff ends with open, low, E. And then that third fret of the A string. Our final riff comes from the chorus of the very first Rage song I ever heard from the soundtrack of Rock Band 2. Here's Testify. Start by playing that same chord again, the Hendrix chord, makes a comeback. Then you play 3-5 on the low E string. Open low E to the third fret of the A string. Next part, open low E, 5-3 on the A string. And then play and then you need to jump right back to that chord. And then again, before playing the 7th fret, the low E and A strings to the 10th fret. So now we have and again, open low E, 5-3 on the A string, and this is how the riff ends. Open low E, and then you do this cool bend on the 12th fret of the G and B strings, and try to bend them up a half step to those notes. But yeah, you put the whole thing together slowly, and this is how it sounds. Lists like this always spark controversy amongst those who disagree, so leave a comment down below if there are any riffs you don't think should be on this list, any that I may have missed. Please let me know, and please be super mean about it in the comments. Thanks for watching.